I'm Jason Carter. Physical optimization defines my life. The day I was born, doctors nearly killed me with medical malpractice. They said I'd never walk. I've been proving them wrong for 35 years. It's easier than you think to obtain super optimal health. I've devoted my life to it, and with my help, you can too. I'm Jason Carter, and this is ENZYMENTAL. And welcome to ENZYMENTAL. I'm Jason Carter, and as we've been discussing the ketogenic diet the past several weeks, I thought it was finally time that I tell you about one of my favorite fats of all time. It's something that I eat quite a bit of every day, and that, of course, is butter. For hundreds of years, countless cultures around the world have valued butter for its life-sustaining properties. In the 1930s, a dentist and researcher, Weston A. Price, studied native diets and found that butter was a critical staple in the diets of these people. The groups he studied particularly valued the deep yellow butter produced by cows feeding on rapidly growing green grass, and it wasn't until the beginning of the 1950s that the food industry began to turn liquid vegetable oils into solid fats with a process called hydrogenation to supply the then growing fast food and snack food industries. Hydrogenation turns oils like soy and corn and cottonseed into what we know of as margarine and vegetable shortening, which are then used in most all processed foods, including salad dressings, crackers, fast food, baked goods, and, of course, fried foods. And for many decades, these modified fats have been promoted as healthy alternatives to butter when they are actually extremely inflammatory and a key factor in disease. So during hydrogenation, liquid vegetable oils are hardened by the addition of hydrogen atoms, toxic elements like nickel oxide, and emulsifiers, and are then subjected to high temperatures to remove the odors. Dyes and flavors are then added to fatuously make the product resemble real butter. Also in this process is the production of abnormally shaped molecules known as trans fatty acids. These man-made fats are extremely toxic to the body, but unfortunately, the digestive system does not recognize them as a problem. Instead of being eliminated, these trans fats are then incorporated into cell membranes as if they were normally shaped fats, essentially making body cells partially hydrogenated. There's an enormous amount of negative press on trans fatty acids. As early as the 1940s, researchers found a strong correlation between cancer and the consumption of fat. Because the fats used in these studies were all hydrogenated fats, the blame was placed on saturated fat when it was trans fats that may have been to blame. Hydrogenation-generated trans fats block utilization of essential fatty acids like DHA, and this can lead to increased blood cholesterol and immune system dysfunction. Consuming these trans fats has also been associated with atherosclerosis, diabetes, obesity, decreased visual acuity, and problems with bones and tendons. In 2002, the National Academy of Sciences attempted to set a safe intake for trans fatty acids and concluded that the only safe intake of trans fats is none at all. So butter contains no industrial trans fats. However, it does contain a natural trans fat, and that is known as conjugated linoleic acid, or we just call it CLA. And this natural trans fat, CLA, is actually very good for you. Research has shown that women with the highest levels of CLA in their diet have a 60% lower risk of breast cancer than those with lower levels. CLA has also been found to support the immune system and encourage muscle building while resisting weight gain. Fat phobia has led to a reduced intake of CLA since it's found only in foods like whole milk, beef, lamb, and of course very richly found in butter. Naturally raised grass-fed animals have as much as 500% more CLA in their milk than those fed conventional grain-based diets. And even another benefit of butter is that butter has both short and medium chain fatty acids. So researchers classify fatty acids, or the building blocks of fat and oils, not only according to their degree of saturation, for example like monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, or even just saturated, but also by their length. So as the name implies, these short and medium-chain fatty acids are shorter in length than most of the fatty acids found in other fats and oils. Their length allows them to be directly absorbed from the intestines for quick energy. We've discussed this when we talked about MCT oil. And longer-chain fatty acids require enzymes and packaging that takes more energy and time to process through the body. Also, because butter is rich in nutrients and saturated fats, it gives you a sustained feeling of fullness or satiety, thus reducing cravings and binging. That's one of the reasons why I eat so much of it, because it keeps me full for so long. These short and medium-chain fatty acids also contribute to the health of the immune system and provide antimicrobial properties, such as protecting the gut from viruses, yeasts, and even pathogenic bacteria. Butter contains all of your fat-soluble vitamins, A, E, D, and K. And as far as the vitamin A found in butter, it's the true vitamin A, otherwise known as retinol. And butter also has all the naturally occurring cofactors needed to optimize absorption of these nutrients. In fact, the vitamin A in butter is more easily absorbed and utilized than from any other food. And as we know, these fat-soluble nutrients are critical for many body functions. So, for example, vitamins A and D are essential to the proper absorption of calcium, as is also vitamin K, so that right there makes them necessary for optimal strong bones and teeth. And vitamin A is particularly important for protein utilization. Also, those of us who take more vitamin E usually have a lower risk of coronary heart disease. Butter also contains a number of trace minerals, including manganese, zinc, chromium, and iodine. Butter's short-chain fatty acid butyric acid, or butyrate, is the primary fuel for the colonic walls and supports the function and integrity of the GI tract. This special fatty acid is extensively used by the brain for the production of GABA, or gamma-aminobutyric acid, which is the brain's natural calming agent that helps to turn off stress reactions. The only natural source of butyric acid is in cow's milk fat. So butter and clarified butter, this is butter with the milk solids removed, offer much higher amounts of this beneficial short-chain fatty acid. For right now, the one thing you can take away from this is that although it's been demonized for many years as an unhealthy fat, butter is in fact one of the healthiest fats you can ever consume, and most importantly, it does not make you fat. It's only when you pair that butter with an abnormally high amount of refined carbohydrates and refined sugar that the body will use those refined carbs and sugar as fuel first and store that butter fat as long-term fat. So try, as I've told you many times, to reduce your consumption of simple carbohydrates and sugar and try to gradually increase your consumption of fat. Be sure to take a lipase enzyme, or a fat digesting enzyme, with all this fat you're eating so you can break it down properly. But I think you'll find that eating more fats like butter will help keep you full substantially longer throughout the day. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.